Hey guys, June here, and in this video I want to talk about a few of the changes that were made to combat this morning. The first and most major thing in my opinion is that they have fixed the Aftershock perk to proc every 50,000 damage dealt rather than capped at once per minute as it was previously. If you watched my guide to optimizing perks video, then you will know that I said that if this did happen, this would definitely be outclassing any of the other DPS perks, and that's definitely the case now, especially since you can combine it with Biting 3. So both Dragon Rider Lances and probably Nox as well are pretty high in the GE right now, though obviously Dragon Rider Lances have risen much more considerably. I haven't yet gotten around to updating my equipment with the new perks, but I'm definitely going to work on that. I'm buying some lances at the moment, and I'll have to level up a Nox weapon sometime in the next few days. The next most significant change in my opinion is that Smoke Tendrils, which is the Channeled Tendrils ability for magic, now works on a target that moves. The fact that your target had to be stationary was a pretty crippling limitation on that ability, and it gave it pretty much limited usefulness to Virago on a couple of phases, but now that you can use it pretty much anywhere, it's basically just a slightly weaker Asphyxiate, and it's going to be part of pretty much every magic ability rotation. The next thing that throws a little bit of a gear into some of your ability rotations is that Dragon Breath and Chain now only give 8% Adrenaline. Previously there was what apparently is a glitch that if Dragon Breath hit the target you got 10% Adrenaline, and if it missed you got 8%, and if Chain hit an additional target, including the one that you were actually casting the ability at, it also granted 10% Adrenaline. This will probably tweak how you have to use some of your basic abilities, especially oriented around in a Sunshine rotation, but it shouldn't be too major of a change. Next up is a little bit of a quality of life improvement, where any channeled melee ability like Assault for example, if you used it outside of melee distance you just simply got spammed with this message that your target was too far away for you to use that ability. But as of today, you'll actually now run melee distance to the target and then use the ability, which is really great. Finally, the last thing is the first batch of changes to the Siren spells and prayers that were suggested by Mr. GW. There were several changes, but two in particular I think are especially important. First, Intercept had its duration expanded to 10 seconds rather than 5 seconds, which makes it line up very well with abilities like Reflect and Barricade. This is going to come in very handy at hard mode Virago, and it should make even the most challenging weeks quite a bit easier. Secondly, the Prayer Fortitude, which apparently was intended to be a strong tanking prayer, has been improved significantly, and it looks like it could definitely be useful depending on how experienced the tank is. It was given an accuracy bonus when using defensive abilities, which allows the effect of the Turmoil equivalent prayer to apply when using Debilitate, which is what made the original prayer effect effectively useless. On top of that, it's got some damage reduction, increased defense, and increased life points, plus it allows you to heal while the prayer is active regardless of whether or not you're in combat. All that stuff together amounts to a pretty strong tanking effect. However, obviously if a skilled tank is able to use a Turmoil or equivalent prayer, they're going to get better DPS from doing that, and that still would be recommended, but this could be a great tool especially for people who are just learning new and more difficult tank roles. And lastly, on top of all this stuff, all of the tooltips for abilities were updated so that they more accurately reflect what abilities actually do, which is great because previously just about every single one of them was inaccurate in some way. Combine all that with the fact that boss pet overrides came out, and this is really one of the best updates in the last few months, so hopefully you guys are excited about the combat changes as I am, and I'll see you in the next video.